Valkyrie here, and welcome to Dilemma. This is a text-based game, so we'll just get right into it. In this game, you will take the role of the protagonist's conscience. Throughout the narrative, the protagonist will be presented with a number of moral dilemmas, and it will be your duty to decide what is right and what is wrong. An errant buzzing rouses me from sleep. I slap my hand around on my bedstand in search of the phone. My palm smacks against the hard plastic receiver, and I bring the thing toward my face. Yes, I grunt into the phone. Hey Alex, I was wondering if you'd like to get some coffee with me. Seeing as how we haven't seen each other in so long, I figured we should catch up on the times. The voice was feminine to be sure, but I can't place it. Still groggy with sleep, I reply, yeah, sure. Great, there's this awesome little coffee shop on the corner of 10th. It's called The Grind. Meet you there at 2. I roll over in a mess of sheets and glance at my clock. It's 12:58 p.m. Yeah, alright, that works. See you then. I hang up the phone and realize that I just made plans with a stranger. No, I think to myself. I probably know her. I clamber out of bed and stretch. It's too early to be doing anything, but hell, I'm already up. She said the coffee shop was on 10th, which is like a 10-minute drive, not far. By the time I finally get out the door of my apartment, it's already 10 to 2, so I should be just on time. I take the elevator down to the garage, wondering who this mystery woman could be. I'm about halfway to my shitty old Honda Civic when someone starts shouting at me. Hey, mister, could you give me a hand here? A middle-aged man at the back of the parking garage is waving at me. My car needs a jump, could you help me? I stop and think for a minute. I could help the guy out, but then I'd be pretty late, and mystery girl might think I stood her up and get really upset. On the other hand, this guy's kind of screwed until someone helps him out. After all, he could be late for his own appointments. I decide that helping the stranded motorist is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. I'm gonna say it's the right thing to do. So I climb into my Honda Civic and drive to a parking spot adjacent the motorist. It takes just over 10 minutes to get his car running, after which he thanks me graciously and roars off into the afternoon. I follow him right out of the garage. I hadn't counted on traffic, which is really hectic. I usually travel at night, so I end up being about a half hour late. I push open the door of the urban coffee shop. The place is about half full, which is as full as any good coffee joint should ever get, so it was easy for me to pinpoint who Miss Stranger was. I recognized Allison immediately. Her and I had gone to high school together but had lost contact these past few years. It was no wonder I couldn't recognize her voice. She looks pissed. You're late, she frowns at me, and you look like you just woke up. Yeah, sorry, I hadn't counted on traffic and I work night shifts now. So this is like midnight for me. Allison apologizes for muddling up my sleep schedule, but I tell her it's fine. We talk and talk. She tells me all about her trip to Europe, which she just got back from. We're both working on our second cup of coffee when you text me. I pull out my phone to text him back, and Allison slyly inquires who I'm talking to. I tell her, and she remembers Jude instantly. Oh, yeah, I remember him. You were friends with him since high school started. Is he still his crazy self? She grins. I laugh and give her the affirmative. It's around 3 o'clock when we decide to part ways. We exchange numbers, and Allison starts looking a little distressed and shy. Hey, Alex, I was wondering if you could do me a favor. I really can't afford to pay this bill. I ordered more than I should have. I just got back from Europe and all, and I don't have much money. Do you think you could pay for me? I give this some thought. Allison is my friend and all, but I'm not that well off myself. I could barely afford to pay the whole bill with the cash I have on me. It really is her fault. She shouldn't have ordered a damn sandwich. In the end, I decide paying the bill is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. Well, Allison should have been paying attention to her money units a little more. So, I'm gonna say it's the wrong thing to do. I'm sorry, Allison, I'm pretty broke too. I really can't. She nods and says she understands, but it sours the mood. She has barely enough money to pay the bill. We hug and part ways, assuring each other we will meet again. Allison walks down the street, and I wait for the light to turn so I can cross to my car. Before I reach my car, I am beset by a smelly homeless man. Could you spare some change, friend? The man looks like he's about 30. He's dressed in rags, and I can smell the booze on his breath. If I do give him the money, he will probably just go and buy a bunch of alcohol. That's really judgmental, though, and he really is down on his luck anyway. After a bit of internal debating, I decide giving the vagrant money is right or wrong. Wow. I'm gonna say it's right. The guy's homeless. I mean, come on. I'll give him some money. So I reach into my pockets and dump my change into his money collecting cup. Thank you, sir. Thank you. No problem, I mutter as I yank open the door to my vehicle. I'm back in my apartment now. I click on the TV and decide to just chill out until my shift starts at 9 p.m. While the TV blares on, I make myself some Kraft dinner. I wonder what Jude is doing tonight. He has the same sleep schedule as me, even though he doesn't work a job at all. Well, he sells dope if you can count that as a job. Sometimes, though, he comes to hang out with me at the office building I work at. I'm a janitor for this big lawyer-type building, and it gets awfully boring at night. Jude hasn't been texting me anymore, so I assume he went to get high. I'm sitting on my La-Z-Boy recliner, the only decent piece of furniture I possess, eating my macaroni when my cell phone goes off. It's Jude. The text reads, Alex, dude, I really need your help. Can you come outside? Please, man. I groan and set my bowl of pasta down on the ground. Jude does ridiculous shit like this all the time. It's probably a joke. Whatever though, Jude's my friend, I should at least humor him. So I take the elevator down to the ground floor and see Jude standing on the corner leaning on a trash can looking very sketchy. Alex, great, listen dude, I really need your help. I sigh and tell him to explain. Well, okay, it's like this. I wasn't all there this afternoon and I bought a bunch of drugs. I need you to hold them for me. I rub my hand across my head and give an exasperated curse. Why do you need me to hold your damn drugs? Jude looks increasingly uncomfortable as my parole officer. Man, she's going to check in with me soon, and if she catches me with all this shit, I'm fucked. Well, how much is it? Jude averts my gaze. It's a lot. If my parole officer catches me with all this, I'm going back to prison for a long time. Why would you do this? He shouts angrily. I forgot my parole officer checks on me today. It was really expensive. I can't just chuck it. I just want to keep it in your car for a day or two, then I swear I will unload it on someone else. Is it a lot? Enough to qualify for a felony, he says sadly. How did you afford that much drugs? I question tiredly. Business is good, he replies meekly. Damn you, Jude, I have to think about this. Give me a minute. I turn my back and start pacing up the block. I've known Jude most of my life. He's my best friend. If I get caught with drugs, though, I'm going to prison for a long time. But if Jude gets caught with that, he's going to prison for much longer because he's already been there once. Plus, he's way more likely to get caught. The cops know him, and his parole officer is always on his ass. I know Jude's my friend, but this is a little extreme. I walk back to Jude. All right, I've decided that holding this shit for you is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. Wow. I actually despise drugs, so I'm just going to say it's the wrong thing to do. And really, it's Jude's problem, not mine, so. All right, man, I understand. I guess it was a bit of a big favor to ask. I can probably manage, though. Maybe I can get my roommate to hold the stuff for me. Jude gets on his bike and pulls a small garbage bag out of the trash bin he had been leaning on. You going to stop by the office tonight? I don't know, man. I've got to get rid of this stuff now, so I don't know. With that, Jude bikes off. I feel like an asshole. I decide to finish my macaroni and have a small nap before I start my shift. I've still got 3 hours till then, so I curl up in my recliner and doze off. After setting my alarm, of course. My alarm wakes me up at 8 p.m. sharp. I quickly have another shower and down a cup of coffee. Despite the nap, I still feel sluggish. I grab my uniform and make my way down to the garage. The streets are considerably quieter than they were this afternoon. I love driving at night so much better. Jude starts texting me again. He says he might have already found a buyer for that stuff. I started texting back when my car jolts violently and spins out. I drop my phone and slam on the brakes. I come to a screeching halt in the middle of an intersection. The night is silent. I am in a quiet part of town and there are no cars around. I peer in front of my car and see the body of a teenager bathed in the light of my headlamps. There's a dent in my hood and some blood spatter on it. I get a sick feeling in my stomach. I can't tell if the kid is dead or not, but he's definitely injured. My car idles in the intersection. There are still no cars around. This is bad, very bad. I don't know what to do. If I stay and try to help the kid, I'm going to be in deep shit. I was texting while driving and will probably get my license taken away. If I just speed off, I'm home free. No one was around to see this unfortunate accident. I just can't help thinking that this kid will die if I don't help him. Helping this kid and putting myself at risk is wrong or right. Well, I'm gonna say it's right. I can't just leave a kid, especially one that I hit. Alex was being a dumbass and was texting and driving, so we gotta help the kid. I call an ambulance right away and rush out to the boy's side. It looks like his ribs are broken and maybe his arm. I tell him it's going to be okay and that the paramedics are on the way. The ambulance arrives in no time with 2 cops in tow. The medics waste no time getting the boy into the ambulance and back to the hospital. The cops come and question me and take a statement from me. They take my car as evidence but say they won't be pressing charges on account of I called it in. But they do inform me the boy's family may sue, so they need the car for evidence. I say it's no problem and I'm very sorry. They thank me and I walk the last 2 blocks to the office. The office building isn't that big, just a small 10-story one. I only have to clean the bottom 5 floors. They have another janitor to clean the other 5. I start at the top and work my way down as usual. Around 11 p.m., Allison starts texting me, says she can't sleep, jet lag. So we talk while I clean. She decides she's going to come up and see me and Jude if he gets here. I tell her to text me when she gets here so I can open the door for her and get back to work. As I'm cleaning out one of the cubicles on the 3rd floor, I notice a wallet. It's a nice brown leather wallet. Upon further inspection, I find it stuffed with cash. $100 bills are stuffed into it. I look at the money greedily. It's a lot of money and I'm pretty broke. It's not like this fancy lawyer or whoever really needs it anyway. He's probably rich and I have next to nothing. It is still his money though, not mine. I think that taking the money is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. It's not my money and I wouldn't feel right taking it. If I was absolutely desperate, I would take it, but I'm gonna say it's the wrong thing to do. The money isn't mine. I can't just take it. I angrily walk out of the cubicle and keep cleaning. I try not to think of all the money. I get a text from Allison at 12:04 a.m. I'm here. I walk down 2 floors to let her in. We go back up to the 3rd floor and she sits around in the swivel chairs and talks while I clean. The company is nice. I missed Allison. At 12:24 a.m., Jude texts me. He tells me he's sold the drugs and is on his way. I tell Allison that Jude will be joining us soon. She claps excitedly. She hasn't seen Jude in years. Around 1 o'clock, Jude texts me again and tells me to open the door. Allison and I make our way down via the elevator and find a curious sight on the other side of the glass doors. Jude is there, but so are 3 other guys. They seem to be arguing. Allison gives me a concerned look, but I open the door anyway. What's going on here? I say timidly. One of the strangers angrily informs me that Jude ripped them off. Jude is just spidering excuses and it isn't working even a little bit. They want their money back. They keep threatening to beat the shit out of Jude. They keep pestering Jude. The thugs start getting physical, pushing him and shoving him. Jude tells him to back off and they laugh. Suddenly, Jude pulls out a handgun and fires it up into the air. All three of the gangsters back off. Jude tells him to fuck off. They keep backing up, but they're still making threats, telling him that they'll be back for him. Jude conceals the gun and jumps inside. I lock the doors tight, and we all look at each other uneasily. Sorry about that, Jude mutters. I tell Jude to give me the gun. I don't trust him with it. He thinks that's a good idea. Jude never did really like guns. We're all still pretty shook up, so I make us all a cup of coffee. We sit and talk about the event for a while and finally start to settle down. Jude and Allison catch up on old times while I finish cleaning the ground floor. I'm finished work around 4:30 a.m. I leave work early with Allison and Jude, and we all pile into Allison's car and go to Denny's. It's a great time. We all order pancakes and tell jokes to each other. We're laughing nearly the whole time. I feel really glad that everything has turned out like this despite the bad things that have been happening to me these past day. The sun starts rising as we talk and eat, the sunlight flooding through the windows like a heavenly spotlight. Everyone stops talking for a minute and we all just sit there in silence. Jude is cramming his face full of pancakes and Allison is staring out the window smiling. I smile and look at them. We're all so content. We leave Denny's at 8:04 a.m. Allison tells us she has to stop at the bank quick before she drives us back to the office to get our stuff. Jude and I don't mind a bit, so we all climb into Allison's little car again. The bank isn't very busy. There are maybe 10 people standing in line and another 5 just sitting around. Allison tells us she has to deposit a check and won't be long. Jude and I go and sit in the corner on these big comfy armchairs. Jude starts drumming his hands idly on the black leather armrest. 3 men walk into the bank. They all have black ski masks on their face and are carrying assault rifles. I freeze. One of them fires off a few rounds into the ceiling and everyone screams. This is a fucking robbery. Everyone get down on the ground and shut the fuck up. The gunman standing in front screams. Everyone complies instantly and dives into the floor. One of the gunmen herds all of the people into the corner where Jude and I are. The other 2 go and work over the employees. It doesn't take long for them to get the safe open and start carting bags of money out into the lobby. The gunman guarding all his hostages yells back at his cohorts. Hurry up, the cops will be here soon. As if on cue, sirens blare on and start closing in on the building. Shit, one of them swears. All 3 bank robbers get together and have a whispered conversation. I can only make out some of the words. No, it's okay. We've got hostages. Kill some. Threaten them. They have to let us leave here. My blood goes cold. They stop talking, and the one I assume is the leader raises his voice. Okay, everyone, since the cops are here, we're going to have to show them we mean business. Now let's see. He walks over to us and runs his eyes all over us. Who wants to be one of our lucky hostages? No one says a word. Everyone looks down at the floor. The gunman smirks and grabs Allison by the arm and pulls her to her feet. Lucky girl, hey, come and get this one too. He points to Jude and one of the other gunmen complies. They pull them out in front of the glass door so the police can see and point guns at them. The cops start yelling through a loudspeaker trying to get them to surrender and stuff. The leader steps toward the door and shouts out threats. Threatens to kill the 2 hostages if they don't go free. The other 2 gunmen gesture at Jude and Allison aggressively with their firearms. They're going to kill them. I panic. Every part of my body feels as taut as a piano wire. I remember the gun tucked into my jeans, the one I got from Jude. I pull it out and hold it under my prone body. Some of the other people see it and just give me this terrified look. I'm breathing hard, really hard. I have the element of surprise. I can definitely kill one of the robbers. But if I kill the one that has his gun pointed at Jude, the other one will kill Allison and vice versa. Then there's always the option I get gunned down right after too. There are those leather armchairs Jude and I were sitting in. I could use them as cover. I can't make up my mind though. Jude's been my friend since high school. We've shared 10 plus years of our life together. But Allison, I really like Allison, and I think there might be something between us. The way she always smiles at me. My time is running out. The leader turns away disgusted from the glass door and looks at my friends like they were stakes, deciding which one to kill. I jump to my feet, aiming the gun as quickly as possible, and decide to save. Jude or Allison? I don't know. Allison just kind of came back into Alex's life, just kind of out of nowhere. And I've known Jude, or Alex has known Jude for a while, so I think I'm going to stay loyal to Jude, and I'm going to save him. I fire at the gunman standing over Jude. I hit him right in the head, and he drops to the floor. One of the robbers keeps his gun trained on Allison. The leader turns to me with his gun poised. I dive behind the armchair as they both rattle off a bunch of hot lead into the wall behind me. From underneath the chair, I can see Jude run out through the glass doors as they're distracted. "You fuck," the leader shouts. "You fuck, you fucking killed him." He screams in rage, and I can hear him pacing. "No, please," it's Allison's voice. A gun goes off, and I hear shells clatter to the floor. I peek under the chair again. Pools of blood are spreading across the marble floor of the bank. Allison is dead. Then, in a sudden frenzy, the cops come running in and screaming for the robbers to drop their guns. The underling gets down on his knees and drops his gun. The leader scrambles towards the counter for cover, but is shot down. Empty shells go rolling through the pools of blood, getting coated in the stuff. They leave these red, curvy trails as they tumble around on the marble floor. I think I'm going to be sick. I'm sitting on the steps outside the bank. One of the police officers brought me a coffee. I don't know from where. I'm still shaking and can't get the image of all that blood out of my head. The cops congratulated me, said I'm a hero. They couldn't have stormed the place with all three of them alive, they said. I nod and smile, but I don't feel like a hero. I feel like someone who just saw Frank get gunned down in front of them. Someone who chose which friend got gunned down. I checked the time on my cell phone. It's 9:46 a.m. I should be asleep by now. I'm really tired. I can't stop thinking about Allison. I have nightmares every night about all the blood. I really felt something between us, a connection. But I chose to kill her. That's what I keep telling myself. Jude's been a great help these past few days, though. He's barely left my side since it happened. He spends all night reassuring me and comforting me. It's really nice to have a friend here for me. Jude's my best friend, and I think we're going to be friends for the rest of our lives. More like brothers. I'll never forget the choice I had to make, though. Never. I got a phone call a few days later. It was the mother of that boy I hit. He made a full recovery and was in perfect health again. She was very grateful that I didn't just speed off like everyone else does on the news. The woman told me her son certainly would have died if not for me. It made me feel really good. I couldn't save both my friends, but I did save someone. I asked the mother if she was going to press charges, and she abruptly informed me they would do no such thing. I thanked her very much for the information and hung up the phone. Yes, I thought, I can get over this. I'm a good person at heart. The end. Wow, that was quite an eventful day. um, that was pretty short, but it wasn't bad at all. I don't know about my decisions and the ones that I made, but I don't know. It wasn't horrible. Thank you for watching and listening.